so excited that you're here. Welcome to the first annual Arvi Ostrom Afterlife Fan Club. Raise your hand if you're Arvi's biggest fan. 2 people, that's okay. All right, raise your hand if you are definitely a fan of Arvi. Okay, 3. Okay, here's a really easy one. Raise your hand if you know about Arvi. One moment. Welcome to the first annual Learning About Arvi Ostrom Afterlife Fan Club. How you doing, folks? Welcome, welcome. You know what? This is actually really exciting. You're all just babes new to the wonderful human being that was Arvi Ostrom. The artist that was Arvi Ostrom. Everyone, look at these pieces. This is one of my favorites. The shades of blue and gray and white, which make up this beautiful river. You could almost stick your hand in the drawing and feel the cool water rushing between your fingers, the spray of water on your face. You could hear the wind billowing through the sails of this ship, the obnoxious honk of geese which flies above our heads. And I really don't need to tell you how I was able to depict her beauty. Arvi was a prolific artist, and I do not say that lightly. By the time he died, he had created 10,000 paintings, sketches, drawings. 10,000! That's enough to fill the Louvre. But of course, behind every great and happy man is a great and happy childhood. Arvi was born and raised here in Astoria on July 13th, 1904. And you can be sure he made a name for himself, not only for his art, but for his athleticism. You like sports, right? I like sports. We all like sports. And he played for the best high school sports team, at least, in the world, Astoria High School. Go Fish! Woo! Yeah! He played football, he played basketball, and when he graduated, he went to play football at U of O. Sorry, Beavers fans. But of course, what happens to the best of us is that we run out of money to keep going to school, and we have to join the workforce. But that didn't stop his athletic career. Oh no. The sawmill for which he worked had its own basketball team, and you can be sure that he was on that court in a matter of days. You know, you don't often hear of folks continuing their sports careers after high school, but you know, Arvi was a real catch, and you can be sure his future wife Layla had an excellent cast. They met while she was working at the Triangle Cafe in Uniontown here in Astoria. He would order the same thing every single day, and, well, some folks might think that was a little boring. It certainly is a good way to remember someone. And after a year of talking, getting to know each other, and falling in love, they got married. Oh gosh, everyone, it was more romantic than Lucy and Ricky Ricardo, because they had to do it in secret. They didn't have enough money to start their lives and tell everyone about their love, but they certainly didn't want to wait. They had to get married in Oaxaca! But fortunately, after only a couple of months of working, they had enough to start their lives together officially, and were able to tell the entire town about their love. 64 years they were together with only death parting them, and they had 5 beautiful daughters. And you can be sure that Arvi was as good of a father as he was an artist. He made sure his girls were raised strong, educated, independent, self-sufficient, because if there's anyone you can rely on, it's going to be yourself first. But on Friday nights, when they were able to stay up a little later waiting for Dad to come home, Arvi would bring back soda pop, pastries, and candies from the best place to hang out at, Snug Harbor Tavern. Folks, If you were not able to go to the Snug while it was operating, I feel real sorry for you. It was an absolute blast. You could get coffee and pastries in the mornings, burgers and dogs for lunch, and have a nice cold glass of beer and playing some cards in the evenings. Not that that was necessarily my preferred pastime. But the thing about Arvi was that being a businessman, a business owner, a bartender, while he loved the Snug, and he ran it for 40 years, mind you, it wasn't his passion. That was art. And the Snug showed that. It was a living, breathing art gallery. While you were sitting drinking your beer, you could watch Arvi whittle away at his wood carvings, which lined the Snug's walls. Or he would be sketching on anything he could find. Envelopes, business papers, little torn scraps of lined paper that he found. And you can be sure he would be drawing our beautiful Columbia River. He would draw the ships which grace her waters, our amazing Megler Bridge connecting Astoria and Washington. And if he would catch your eye, you can be sure you would be immortalized in his work as well. I dare say everyone who went through the Snug, certainly everyone who is a regular at the Snug, were encapsulated into his sketches. 10,000 seems like such a large number, but when you consider that he was drawing since he was a small child, by the time he died at 91 years of age, he was always sketching and drawing. So really 10,000 seems like just the right amount. And what's even more amazing is that he was completely self-taught. Oh, certainly he tried applying for art school, but they rejected him. Could you look at this piece, or this, another one of my favorites, and say, you're not good enough? The idiots. But he did have his wonderful older brother. When he was small, his brother himself, George, was an artist, and you can be sure he was always encouraging his passion, drawing with him, lifting him up. Art was always the thing that Arvi wanted to do, and as I mentioned before, though he was certainly sad to leave the Snug after 40 years of operation, I can only imagine the happiness and joy he felt knowing that he could spend the rest of his life doing what he loved to do most. He never sold any of them, or at least sold very few. He didn't know what price to put on them. This was what he loved. It wasn't a job. But if you were on his Christmas card list, boy, were you lucky. You're going to get a genuine, one-of-a-kind Arvi Ostrom sketch. So I have one thing to ask of you. If you find yourself in Uniontown, and you're walking past this building in which there's an Irish pub, that's where the Snug was. And you look and you smile and nod and say, how you doing, Arvi? And if you would like to see his work in real life, you can go to the Heritage Museum in Astoria, Oregon, in which his pieces grace the walls of their beautiful building. And with that, I congratulate every one of you because you are officially members of the Arvi Ostrom fan club.